Guys, welcome back to nationalhsfb.com. I'm your host, Larry Godwin, along with my counterpart, Joe Maimone from Prep Gridiron Logistics. You guys know by now his smiley face. And joining us is Coach Bruce Rollinson from the Mater Dei Monarchs. Now, this is a pleasure for us, Coach, because I was telling you before the show started, when you and I were just talking before we went live, is you are considered a coaching legend, even out here on the East Coast. So we are thrilled to talk to you guys. If you don't know, if you're not a follower of high school football and you're stumbling on this show right now, let me introduce you. Let me give you a brief synopsis of this guy's career. He's the head coach of the Mater Dei Monarchs. He's approaching his 34th season with an overall record of 329, 86, and 2. You heard me right. 329 wins, 86 losses, and 2 ties. It's kind of getting difficult to keep track of the state championships and national championships, including last year. So, Coach Rollinson, welcome to the program.
Hey, I appreciate the introduction, and it is good to see Joe smiling. I mean, last time we met, we got him smiling towards the end, but it took a while. But thank you, and it's an honor. As long as I'm representing my team, our brand, and high school football, I'm good. You know, it's a great product, and you guys do a tremendous job in supporting these kids and supporting us coaches, and I'm excited to get it going here.
Well, we appreciate the accolades there. Joe's going to lead us off with the first question. So, Joe, take us away.
Hey, Larry, I want to add, I go out to dinner a lot in Yonkers, New York, because I have some family there, and he's his legend still there where he grew up.
I'm a Yonkers boy, baby.
That's right. All right, Coach. So, Coach, in preparation for this interview, we asked our loyal readers for some questions. Normally we get 3 or 4 or 5. We had like 15 or 18. I want to thank our loyal posters on our forum, guys like Steeler, Sammy Swordsman, Lion Hurricane Nick, All Day, Body Surf. They're all Cali fans, and a couple of them are big-time Mater Dei alums and fans also. So we're going to start with some chronologically with the questions from that incorporate some of your past teams. So our first question was, in your opinion, I know all your teams you love them all equally, but in your opinion, which Mater Dei team was the best? 94, 96, recent teams. Can you choose one or two?
I get hit up about that. I get hit up about our lineage and quarterbacks, and it's a tough question because I've been doing it so long, Joe. You had a certain product in the '90s, and then it changes, but you always go back to your first championship, 1991, Billy Blanton and the boys, and what we did. I was hired in 1989, and we went first round in 89, semifinals in 90, and here we are sitting in 91 at Anaheim Stadium playing the number 1 ranked team in the nation, Eisenhower High School. And it's one of those nights where it all came together. A receiver, Roger Morante. I had a great offensive line, and we win a championship. And I've only been at the helm for 3 years, and that launched us. That showed us what we're capable of doing. And Joe, I'll tell you what. Now fast forward to 2017. And it's a 15-0 football team. It's another national championship football team, and that was an incredible product that we put on the field. J.T. Daniels, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Remigio, the offensive line. I mean, think about it. The right tackle goes to Alabama, now jumped in the portal. He's at Colorado now. Tommy Brown. The right guard, Chris Murray, started at UCLA, jumped in the portal, starts for Oklahoma. The center, Bubba Gonzalez, he started at Boise State. Another guard, Mason Kolenchek. Mason just got done with the Military Academy West Point. God bless him. And the left tackle was a puppy, Miles Moreau. Miles is up at Washington playing for the Huskies, and they were dominating up front. We did whatever we wanted offensively, and then, Solomon Tuliapa-Pupu and the boys on defense. Plus, that one's a little bit fresher in my mind as I get older, but those two teams stand out. But I don't want to disrespect, you got a 94 national championship team headed by Johnny Flynn, goes to the Air Force Academy. 96, we rocked it again, 15-0. So, it's been fun. It's been fun. And the kids that played for me, Joe, when you go through this as long as I have, I wanted to win, but never winning at any cost. But at a certain point, I realized there's a bigger mission of being a head football coach. I realized the impact, and I know that sounds crazy. I was young, I was fired up, and I'm just old and fired up. But you realize that, you're in it for a bigger thing, developing young men, sending young men to college and be able to deal with the complexities of life, the adversity that life throws at you. And that's where I see myself now. Yeah. Do I want to win? Of course I want to win. And I hate losing, but I also see a bigger, mission. And I'm not soft. I do the same things I've always done. I'm going to grind on kids. I'm going to force the discipline upon them, the accountability upon them. And then we're going to go win some football games, and we're going to get after you.
Well, Coach, you spent the last few minutes just talking about your former players, and so I get an idea of your philosophy, how your players are so important to you, things like that. But let me ask a kind of a related question to that. You've been doing this a long time. You said it in your answer a couple times there. You've been doing this a long time, and it seems like you still have enough fire and energy. What is the secret to your longevity? And is that fire in the belly still there for you?
Yeah, the fire's there. It's adaptability. As I developed the program, I not only would worry, I'm not just looking at 2022, but where do we want to be in 2023, 24, or, how long am I going to do it? I'm going to do it as long as the fire's there, as long as the energy is there. But as I went through, I realized that, best example I can give you, the way we coached in the 90s, from scheme to approaching the kids and parents, wouldn't work today. We've adapted to the changes. Social media. I used to think it was funny in 2009, 10, 11 to laugh and say, oh, I don't answer email. I just delete everything. But what I realized is I was saying, I'm just an old dinosaur. And so, you grab the kids. I grabbed my two daughters, Caroline and Catherine, and said, okay, you got to bring me up to speed. What do I need on my phone? Do I need Instagram? Do I need, Twitter? They said, yeah, we've been telling you that. Services, getting the brand out there, understanding the complexity of offers and commitments and committable offers. You got to stay ahead of that stuff because, we attract, we're a destination place for a lot of the young talent. And obviously kids want to play, and you have to develop the program and it's a process. A lot of these young kids come in and, if I don't start, I'm out of here. Well, okay, let's see. You want to start over this kid or this kid, or, but if you trust the process, you will start. And we're not afraid to play freshmen.
Yeah.
I don't care. Best players play. We played with several freshmen last year on the 12-0 state and national championship team. Darius Dixon, Wheela Moa. My left guard was a 15-year-old freshman. Now, yeah, he's 6'3", 320, and can move. That's that adaptability, but that's also what makes it exciting. You take on the challenge of a different breed of parents and a different breed of kids, but yet the core values aren't going to change.
Sure.
Modern day football is not for everybody.
You get it. All right, Coach, I got another one for you here. So I'm going to go back a little again. So a lot of our fans who follow California high school football and your brand sent me an article, and basically back in 2012, it said you were frustrated and said you're going to blow up the program and start fresh. Obviously, that worked. What did you do back in 2012 to get you where you are today in 2022?
You know what? Start with social media. That's when I sat my two girls down and said, I got to get a better understanding of how this is working and where it's going. And it's not one meeting. It's having them walk me through over a course of a lot of months. Changed my strength program completely. More fast twitch stuff versus and again, there's so many philosophies, and any high school coach that's listening to me, if you believe in what you're doing, go for it. Okay. I felt we were too heavy in the legs when we played. I felt we had soft tissue injuries that should not have happened because the extent that we do condition them. So I stepped back and looked at everything: conditioning, strength development. It wasn't about firing coaches, Joe. Okay. It was about the entire program. Nutrition. Okay. I would see kids eating a pizza, a large pizza before a game. And I used to think to myself, well, that can't be good. But I had no control over that. So now we have pregame meals.
Mm-hmm.
Now we monitor everything: their food intake, their protein intake, their hydration, their water intake, their protein intake. But I had no clue about that, myself. I was, there wasn't a donut that I didn't like. But I have to serve as an example also. The other key, Joe, is I knew I was getting a little older. Look at and get young, energetic, but there's some knowledgeable young men. There were a lot of guys that I interviewed as I was going to enhance the staff and specify more in the development of our athletes on the field. There's a lot of young guys that they think they know about a grind, but they don't. But there are energetic young coaches. We go 7 days a week, Joe, and I don't care. I'm not going to get beat because we weren't prepared. If I get beat, okay, then I blame us because we have the talent. And now this last ingredient to this development, Joe, was youth football. Youth football was changing. Unlimited weight-based youth programs. 14-year-old kids that were 300 pounds that couldn't play Pop Warner, So, and it's legal to work the youth then. We started hosting youth camps. We created a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade competition, 7-on-7 teams, all legal, all within the rules, but bring those kids. And yes, we start to look at 6th graders and 7th graders, to get them in the program. And that's how I built it. The bottom line is, we don't depend on transfers. We're going to get a few transfers. I mean, last year we had no transfers on that 12-0 team. Okay. From in that year. Okay. In the last 5 years, Joe, I've had 9 transfers. Now, I only count the 9 that were impact players. We might have had 4 or 5 others who just wanted to come to Mater Dei, but they're not really impact players. We bring it through the freshman class, and we plan for 4 years. The class we have coming up now, the sophomores and juniors, incredible talent down there. So we feel comfortable in how we've built it.
Hey, Coach, you said a while ago, I think this is not exact quote, but paraphrase. You said that you tell your kids all the time to trust the process and you will start. It goes along with your motto. If I want to make sure I get this right, your motto is you create the effort, God controls the outcome. How big of a, how often do you spend time reinforcing that into your process, and how quickly do your players adapt to that?
They don't adapt quickly because when you go after these youth players, they've won trophies that are 16 feet high.
Yeah.
They've traveled across the nation. They've played in Florida. They've played in Hawaii. They have gear that, they got 700 sweatbands on and all this stuff. So the process is that we understand this is modern day football. Okay, we want to look the same when we play on Friday night, similar to, say, in Alabama. When you watch Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State, when they take the field, uniforms are exactly the same. Okay, that's part of the process. Celebration. Healthy, big play celebration. Of course, they're going to be excited. But when you score a routine touchdown and spend 10 seconds doing a dance, it's not me. It's going to happen once and you're done. That's just the way we do it, the process. I have to respect the players of the past. My job is to get them to understand that they didn't create this. Other men that came before them have created this, and we must respect that. And that's how I'm judged. I mean, I'll give you an example. We went to an all dark gray uniform 5, 6, 7 years ago. The players of the past kind of flipped out. Okay, it was red at home, white on the road, and here I came in dark gray. So, but that's that transition because that's what the kids want.
Yeah,
I've literally lost incoming freshman players, and the dad says, well, he chose that school because they have more uniforms.
wow.
That guy's not going to play for me. He's not going to play for me.
That's right.
Okay. And you got the worst old man. I don't care about coaching gear. I hate all that stuff. I mean, myself, I still wear a tie. I wear my white jacket when it gets cold. I wear my gray slacks. I got coaches that order all that stuff. And in regards to uniforms, I'm more concerned about the protective equipment. I don't know if I'm allowed to endorse here or not, but we're an X-Tech school, New Jersey guys, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, but I can't have a kid get a shoulder injury, so I'm going to invest the money in the protective equipment. The best helmets money can buy, the best shoulder pads, thigh pads, girdles, things like that.
Yep.
The rest of the color, whatever. I don't, let's just go play football. But that's the process. And there are kids that don't understand that. Why can't I wear this color shoes or that color shoes? No, we wear a majority black cleat. And I drive Nike crazy half the time. But it's just me, it does it make sense not to a young hotshot kid that's coming in? Does it make sense when he's a senior? Yeah, he's the one telling the freshman, you can't wear that. Leadership is very important in the program. I have rack leaders. I have squad leaders. I throw the leadership on them. I just say, you guys determine what we look like. If you want, I have a rule. All the wristbands they wear. Okay, you can have a total of 3. I don't care if it's 3 on one hand, 2 on. That's it. We're gonna look the same. And then you purchase product. We warm up in an under that every kid gets. So anyway, I could go on and on. It's the modern day brand of football.
Cool. So next topic, near and dear to my heart, Coach. Out-of-state games, baby.
Yeah.
So the 3 out-of-state games that I cherish and I remember the most that you were involved with were also the 3 highest-rated games that PGL ever put together. Number 1, when you played IMG back in the day. Our first ever, when we put together the Trinity League versus USA event, when you played St. Francis. And number 3, last year, the pummeling you put on Duncanville, Texas, 45-3. So my question is regarding out-of-state games, because you don't see those teams very often. They're pretty new to you. What does your staff do to prepare for these type of games? And the next question would be, are we going to continue to see you travel the world, visiting exotic places, taking on the best?
Well, I got to fill my schedule, and obviously our relationship has been enhanced, Joe, because I have tremendous respect for how you put these matchups. But see, I circle back. I'm not, there's certain things I'm pretty smart at. Other coaches must respect you, okay? Because when I say, okay, Joe's broker in the game, all right, I know Joe. That tells me, okay, there's no scam going on. There's no financial gain that is going to happen because I'm putting on the show, okay? So we have to get the exposure, but yes, if I've got to go out of state, I'm going out of state to play. I like the big matchups, but part of it was, I fell into them. The only one really that I planned was when we went and played St. John's in DC with Bryce, and that was an ESPN game. The Texas thing was all you. I mean, it was a tremendous matchup. We were fortunate that night. I think they underestimated us, and believe it or not, there wasn't high humidity on the night we played. Because God likes me, I guess, but it's exciting. The IMG game is, when I get done with this, that will be one of the greatest games I coached in. Our stadium was overflowing. I mean, there were people in the Ivy, and they stormed the chain link fence and broke the fence to get in. And I'm going, yeah, let's do this. And obviously, I had Bryce Young. And then the same thing happened with St. Francis. Here comes Bryce Young. I'm going to do what I got to do to build a schedule and also to protect the brand. I don't want to get into anything that can be construed as something shaky, because you gotta be careful. There's other guys that have approached me, and I'm going, who's this guy? I know so and so. Joe, I know everybody. So I feel protected that way, and you're not going to put me in a bad situation. Right. But it's all financial. It's all financial.
And Coach, the good thing about our company is we have several corporate partners. 75 to 80 cents on every dollar we put back to the teams that are playing that night. Nobody else does that. So that's the one thing that Prep Gridiron Logistics will always do. The 75 to 80% of every dollar earned through sponsors goes to the teams playing that night. Nobody else is doing that. They can't afford to. I can't afford to do it because I do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, because you care about high school football. You know what it's like to move. When I put my training staff and my equipment staff and my players, I'm moving 110 people. It's expensive. And I'm going to put on a great show. I mean, I'm bringing Mater Dei into this thing, and I don't want somebody to make money on that. I'm not looking to make money on it. I just want to cut expenses. And Joe, you're right. You saw the vision of us going to Texas. I didn't see that. I was just looking for a game that week. I couldn't find anybody to play me. But that's your job. You saw it though, and sure enough, we blew up the internet with viewership, but yet I know what you were able to reciprocate to help ease the burden of taking my group into Texas.
Yeah, and that was to date the highest rated high school football game on Flow Football since we've been involved with them. So
As it should be.
yeah, we're going to continue to do that year in and year out. As you know, one of your colleagues in your area is also going to Texas next year to take on Allen. So you set the tempo for the rest of the area.
And it's exciting for high school fans, and that's also what and it's more exposure for the kids,
right?
But yeah, you're taking a chance that you're going to get hit in the mouth by a buzzsaw, but let's do it.
Yeah,
Coach, you mentioned Bryce Young a couple times. Let's talk about some of the quarterbacks you've had. You're starting to get a reputation, not starting to, but you've got a reputation of developing some really, really good quarterbacks. I think you've had, 3 or 4 Heisman winning quarterbacks out there. Is that something that you develop, or these players come naturally talented to you? How come you guys are like a quarterback factory out there?
I'll tell you what, Larry, here, think about this statistic, okay? 34 years, 33, okay, it'd be 32, including last year. Okay, 32 of my quarterbacks got Division I scholarships, all but 1 year, and that's because there was a situation of transferring out at the 11th hour. One kid, they basically took the sword for the team, really wasn't a quarterback, and we fought through that season. I'm proud of that lineage. How do you do it? You see, in high school, I don't care what level, okay? I'm going to get an extra hour, 2 hours sleep tonight because I have my quarterback returning, okay? And Elijah Brown is a special player. The kid is 17-0. 5 games as a freshman, 12 last year.
Wow.
We spend a lot of time in the youth development of quarterbacks. And I've had a succession of great quarterback coaches. Taylor Kelly, QB3, has been on my staff for 5 years. Taylor's now running the offense, and you can see talent. We had in January, we opened our 34th quarterback academy for any kid that's going into the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And it's in one way it's sad because you've got all these dads that say this kid can throw it 40 yards on a dime. So you put them all out there, and God bless them, but all of a sudden, bing, there's the kid. Okay. Yep. You see it come out of his hand. You see the confidence. Matt Barkley, we had him as a 6th grader. And I turned my head and I said, well, look at this one. Okay. Leinert was the same way. Now, Leinert was also a baseball prodigy. Okay. And actually blew his arm out playing baseball. Didn't even play sophomore football or JV or whatever varsity because he was coming off an arm surgery. But now as a junior, the arm surgery didn't allow him to throw a baseball, but man, could he throw a football. But you can see this, but you see a lot of kids that dads are going, and I'm going, man, he's, he doesn't have that it factor. Now take it, we put him in the classroom, okay, even as 6th graders and 7th graders, and try to see conceptually what they're capable of doing on the grease board, watching film. And then you have to have a passion for that end of football. JT Daniels, had a stack of notebooks, took copious notes, reclassified as a junior, which was a whole new adventure for me. But as a freshman, sophomore, and junior, note after note, watching tape after practice. Bryce Young, same way. The great ones, not only can they sling it, but they want to get better mentally, and we take pride in that.
That's great. Coach, here's another question. We're going to work our way up to the 2022 season. What are the team goals for the next season? And are the goals set by the seniors or the coaches?
The goals are set. We actually do 2 sets of goals. We have what we feel the goals that we as a staff feel for the football team, and then during camp, the leadership, the squad leaders, they get together with their squads, move it from squads to squad leaders, and they design their goals. And it is a process. You know, I look at each team, and like this team, one of my themes will be meet the standard. Okay, because we are rolling right now, but there's a standard that must be met. And I think that's important. But to answer the question directly, we blend the coaches' goals with the team goals. They're posted. It's a given, Joe. We don't put win the national championship because that's out of our control. Okay, what's in our control is league title, CIF title, state title. And you can't get, it's kind of, you better win the league so you get seated right in the playoffs. You got to win the CIF championship, California Interscholastic Federation championship, to get to the state finals. Then it's a true state champion because you play that state game. Then nationally, it's up to you guys to decide who the best product was. But you're not going to consider very many teams with more than one loss. And there's a lot of undefeated guys out there. So we want to be in that conversation.
We had Jeff Fisher on last week. Great man, loves your program, I can tell you that. And we were talking about how the pollsters more and more are now looking at strength of schedule versus an undefeated record. So we've seen teams at 1 or 2 losses already be in the running and win MNCs. I'm glad the pollsters are starting to think like that versus a 14-0 team who had a strength of schedule of 22 while yours was in the 70s.
Yeah, no, and that's where my league comes in. I mean, I've got to play Bosco in a league game. St. John Bosco, Jason Negro, my good friend. Okay, I have to play Servite. Okay, who we played 3 times in 2021. We played them in the spring and beat them. We played them in a league game and beat them, and then we had to turn around and play them in the championship game, and we beat them. That was one of those ones that kept me awake. That last one, because you're like me. Us East Coast guys, we go, okay, when's the bubble going to break? Going 3-0 against a national power. After 2, I'm going. Can we really do this 3 times? Mm-hmm. Same kids, same players, but fortunately we did. But the league schedule alone, half those guys are in the top 5 to 10 in the state, and 3 more are in the national rankings in the top 5.
And Coach, the team you did not mention, and I get in Twitter battles every day with Texas folks because I keep saying, and I'm going to say it till I'm proved wrong, that Corona Centennial is the best high school football program in America. You play them too.
Yeah, the best public school program.
That's what I meant. The best
That's
public
all right.
school program in America.
That's all right.
The best public school program by far.
Joe, we're open. We got to go to Vegas and play Gorman. Okay, first of all, we're bringing in a team from Utah. I'll give you my preseason.
West Utah.
West High School. Okay, they're a power. Then turn around and put it on the road and head to Gorman. They're loaded this year. The one that scares me is coming back out of Vegas and going to Corona Centennial, because they do a tremendous job. Matt Logan is a tremendous football coach, and he has talent, and he does what he does. And I can tell you, our semifinal game against them was a bloodbath. It was, we went toe to toe for 4 quarters. We had 2 goal line stands, and then, was able to force a turnover at the end and control the clock till it was over. Because it was one of those nights we were a little off offensively. High school football, who knows why? So, but my hat's off to that program, and I agree with you.
Coach, that's man, year after year, you guys play the best. There's no doubt that you're not afraid to take on any team, whether it's Gorman, Centennial, J. Sarah, all these other teams. Coming into this season, who are some of the players that we need to be on the lookout for? Because you're going to need some help against this brutal competition. What are the players going to lead you over the top?
Well, obviously, I've talked about Elijah. You got to have the trigger guy. And I'm excited because we have a regular off season. Remember, you had COVID mixed into this thing.
Right.
I'm on a Zoom call. You saw me trying to get on this Zoom call. I'm trying to have a Zoom call with an 8th grader who hasn't even taken a class at Mater Dei. And he's my 9th grade prodigy quarterback. And we're trying, I'm looking at him on a Zoom call and I'm going, great. Here I am. I'm 100 years old and he's 15 and I'm trying to get him to understand what we're all about. But anyway, it's over. I've got him from January through August. He will go leaps and bounds mentally up in the head. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing where we take him, because now we're going to deep dive and he hasn't touched into the potential of the offense. So we'll stay on that side of the ball. I'm high on the wrestler kid, Jack Wrestler. He will be our feature wide receiver. There's a young talent that's trusted the process. Jordan Agamfi, Giordio. He's going to unload. People are going to go, all right. We knew he had wrestler because he had a tremendous 10th grade year. I got Jordy. I got some inside kids in the 10 personnel that are going to be special. There's going to be some battles there, but it's all going to start up in front. And I'm telling you, fellas, I got an offensive line. They're all coming back from the 2021 season. I had to hold a 6'7", 330-pound tackle out last year because he was coming off knee surgery. We didn't get him really fully released until we were deep into the season last year. A kid named Lipe Moala. I'm excited what he can do. So he'll take over at the right tackle spot. That's the only spot that is not coming back. And then you've got Brandon Baker. He just got offered by SC this weekend. The center is my favorite, BJ Tolo. Started as a true freshman. There we go again. This is his 4th year as a starter. He played 2 at guard. We moved him to center last year. And BJ is very comfortable now understanding the fronts. Several kids at left guard, but that's the true freshman, Wheeler. He's going to be the left guard. And then the left tackle is Carter, DeAndre Carter. He's got 9 million offers. He's a special player. He played his first game as a freshman. My good friend Clay Helton called me after the game was on TV and said, who the hell's your left tackle? Dre's 6'5". He's going 330 and is cat quick. I'm going to run. I got a young freshman running back, and I got a sophomore that'll be a junior. The sophomore is waited, trusted the process. He'll be a junior, Ajon Bryan. And then the freshman that you saw, I unloaded him a little bit, a kid named Jordan Davidson. So, I think we've got to develop the receiving core. Elijah's got to get comfortable with them. On the defensive side, this is linebacker U, and I've got my middle linebacker back. Again, he started as a freshman. I don't care. Leviticus Sua, I love him. He's old school Mater Dei, downhill, knock your face mask off, but God blessed him with speed. He's 6'2.5", weighed in recently at 227 pounds. And he's as thick as, I wish I could lift what he lifts. But he's the catalyst of the defense. He's the leader. So we build around him. We got a couple of other linebackers that are going to vie. A sophomore, Lucas Campasita. He's 6'2", 232. Outside, we got a kid coming back, Tanner Williams. Had a tremendous 21 season. There'll be competition at the other outside linebacker spot. On the back end, I've got the kid that everybody's looking at, Zabian Brown. Zabian 6'2", just ran as a sophomore, ran a 11 flat 100 meters on the track team. So we've got him and Christian Patero at safety. Darius Dixon, who I mentioned, played a ton. I got a kid named Marcus Harris on the offensive side. These are young kids that now it's their turn, and you'll hear me talking about them a lot more. I'm missing one of my young freshmen. It'll pop into my head. That's what happens when you get old, Joe.
Hey, Coach, when I watch film offensively, I don't normally think, when I think of Mater Dei, I don't think of tight end, but the Spencer Shannon kid's a really good player.
I'm glad I feel bad that I didn't have him listed. He and watch how good he gets now, Joe, because he came in, played freshman football at another high school, came over to us, boom, COVID hit. Kid's 6'7", 240, likes to put his hand in the dirt when we drop him down. We don't do that a lot, but we'll do a lot of different things, kind of an H-back, but he's been a force in our early workouts on the field, Joe, in 10 personnel. I'm going to get a lot more comfortable putting him there. You got a 6'7" target. I mean, and Elijah can place the ball there. That's what we've got to do. And yeah, I'm excited. My staff is intact. The coordinators are both back. So, here we go.
Coach, I can't help but chuckle a little bit. Earlier, I asked you, do you still have the fire in the belly? After naming off all those players, I can see why you're still pretty excited about that program.
Well, it's not the plays, it's the players, boys. We all run the same plays, but when you're running it with kids like that, but that's what makes it fun. But again, these are good kids. They're young men that we have a product. We have this brainwashing process that goes on, and that circles me back. We have more kids leave the program than we do transfer into the program because they don't drink the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. That individuality is more important to them than what the team does. And this day and age, that there's your battle right there. It's not about you, it's about us. And you constantly fight that battle, but that's a battle I want to fight, because I want to go to war with kids that love each other, that have each other's backs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, we want to respect your time because you've got a busy program to run. Joe, do you have any other questions for the coach?
I do. I got one last question from our longtime poster and friend, Sammy Swordsman. So, Coach, you know where he's from, right? with the Swordsman moniker. He wanted me to ask you. It's a great question and a great one to end the interview with. When you finally decide to retire, and we hope it's a long time from now, what do you want people to remember you most for?
Great question.
Sammy Swordsman. When you mentioned him earlier, I go, wow, I know where that guy's from. Boy, did we do battle back in my day against that high school, St. Paul High School. Mm-hmm. Legendary coach there, that's Marion Anchitz. I love that guy. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot from Marion. Marion was a grinder like me. And his son Dushin's over at Villa Park now, running the same type of program his dad taught him to run. what do I want people to remember about me? What legacy is the impact that I've had on kids. That's the most important thing to me, Joe, and Sammy Swordsman, my brother. What are people going to say? What are my ex-players and people that are around the program? What do they say about Bruce Rollinson? He has a group of men, 34 years worth of players that still care about the high school. They're good men. We use honor, glory, and love here at Mater Dei, and pride, poise, and courage is what the program's built on. Do they still have pride? Do they still have poise? And do they have the courage to deal with life's complexities? That's all I want to be remembered by. It's like when you read my record, I didn't even know it. Who cares? It's not going to be about my record. It's going to be about my impact.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a pretty fun discussion about your career, your program, your players. It's obvious that you still have plenty of fire and plenty of energy left to inject into that program. Best of luck on this upcoming season. Guys, if you've enjoyed this interview, be sure to catch our website, nationalhsfb.com. Guys, Joe, I'll give you the last word. Coach Rollinson, thank you so much for being here today.
Coach, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. We're all going to be waiting for that Bishop Gorman game.
Yeah.
My goal is in 23 that they come to you to make it a little even. Hopefully that gets done. And keep doing what you're doing, buddy. You make our job easier from a national perspective. So thanks for all you've done.
Now, you know what? Let's just keep it in perspective. I mean, you guys do a great job, and you do it the right way. And that's all we care about. It's about promoting the great game of football at the high school level. And thank you, man. And, hopefully we'll see you down the road. I know I'll see Joe. Larry, it's been a pleasure today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you joining us. Hey, listen, if you can work it out with Joe, we would love to see your Monarchs down in South Georgia taking on a Lowndes, Valdosta, or Colquitt County in the near future.
I'll come into Georgia anytime, brother.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Joe, make it happen.
All right, you got it.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.